you kind of told me a little bit about a story
Oh, yeah.
where you were sued for a lot of money. Can you
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
tell me about that whole situation?
Absolutely. So you know the artist Pink,
Yes.
of course. I got a call to sing in a Pink cover band, and something said, "Don't do it. Don't do the gig." I took the gig because it was paid work on a Tuesday night, and I don't usually work on Tuesday nights. So I was like, it's like I got like $75, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, take the gig. So I took the gig, rehearsed for a few weeks. I had no idea that the man who hired me to sing in the Pink cover band, that he had a bad falling out with his drummer, who was starting his Pink cover band. And the drummer was a personal injury lawyer. So before we performed, he sued me and two other guys in the band for $10 million each. There was, the case was 112 pages long. It was drafted in a way to purposely make it expensive. It had so many things in there about me that just weren't true at all. It painted me as someone that like tried to steal his band away from him while he was getting shoulder surgery, which wasn't true. And the craziest part is that I had never met him.
Oh,
I
uh-huh.
had never met him. He sued me and two other people for $10 million with the goal was to shut that band down, which he did, because once I realized that it was gonna cost me money to be in this band, I was like, I'm out.
Uh-huh.
It took me 2 years to fight the case.
Well, did he have any type of legitimate claim to get it through the courts, or?
So the person who sued me had no legitimate claim to get it through the courts whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is that anybody can sue anyone for anything in the United States. You don't have to have a legitimate claim. Like if I wanted to sue that guy for like his dog, like I looked at his dog and it gave me emotional trauma, I could do it. Like
But
that's the
could,
crazy thing.
I'm just curious, couldn't
Yes.
that guy get accused of abusing the court system and you countersue him back for that?
Yeah.
Or?
So here's what happened.
Okay.
I countersued him.
Yes.
Now you have to keep in mind that the man who sued me was a lawyer who was representing himself.
Uh-huh.
So he didn't have any legal costs, and
Uh-huh.
he knew the legal system back and forth. I ended up countersuing for malicious litigation, abuse of process, and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Uh-huh.
Eventually his case got dropped, but it took 2 years to get his case dropped. The legal system tolerated this. I went to the Bar Association. They did nothing about it. When the case got dropped, we had a hearing to discuss his conduct as a lawyer and discuss what penalties there may be for him abusing the system. And other than him paying back my legal fees, there was no penalty.
Oh.
And apparently, the hearing that I got is very, very difficult to get. My lawyer told me that I got so much further than most people would get, and that most people just crumble and give the person whatever they want to make them go away. And I wasn't going to do that because the abuse that I went through was so severe. I was like, no, we need to address this.
Just your legal fees alone were $15,000.
Yes. My legal fees were $15,000 over the course of 2 years,
Uh-huh.
and they were heavily discounted
Oh.
at
And
$15,000.
and how did this affect your whole life during this period, like in terms of finances? Like, were you able to use a credit card or get a new lease on an apartment, or just how did it affect you in, other ways?
Sure. So the lawsuit completely took over my life. For those 2 years, it was the only thing I could think about.
Oh.
Because I still hadn't met him. But by some miracle, I was able to pay the legal fees up front. I was fortunate that I booked a commercial, which paid for about half of it. I went online and I raised money. So the thing is that my case also got into the news,
Oh.
but the problem was that the news did not report the true story. What the news reported, I woke up one day to a headline from the New York Post that said, "Singer sued for being too old and too ugly for Pink cover band." The story that they told and lied about was that I performed and I was so bad and I was so off key and old and ugly that it made the other guy sue for $10 million. This story went viral about me worldwide. So it was in Time, Perez Hilton, Yahoo News, law schools were reporting it, and it was complete BS. So psychologically, it did a number. If you Google bad, ugly singer, I'm the first thing that comes up on Google.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it, and I'm gonna put a link for it in the description to this video, so anybody who wants to see it can
and
see
I also wrote a book about it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's called Confessions of a Bad Ugly Singer, which is why I wrote the book, because I was like, this is insane. So mentally, it really screwed with me. However, at the end of the day, I ended up having to move so I could continue to fight this case. Once it got into the press, the man who sued me wanted to drop it, but he didn't want to pay for my legal fees. And he also wanted me to sign something saying I would never speak about it again, that I would never talk to the media, that we would pretend like this never happened. And I think he also wanted me to agree to never sing in a Pink cover band again. And I said, no, absolutely not. You're basically using the legal system to bully me and strip my rights away, so no.
And it sounds like you've kind of turned the bad, ugly singer part around and are just making fun of it.
Oh, yeah.
But at the time, how did that make you feel? I mean, that must have hit an insecurity for anybody, right?
So when I saw that headline, at first I was just kind of shocked and numb. And I laughed about it a lot. I joked about it a lot. But like behind the scenes, I had days where I couldn't get out of bed. I had days where I would just Google myself. And honestly, I lost a lot of singing work because of it. Like prior to the lawsuit, I was working constantly. And then I had about I would say a 90% drop in just new bookings or my phone
Because
ringing.
people in your industry started to see you differently or see you in that way or know about the case? Is that why?
So I think the main reason why my phone stopped ringing, I don't think it had as much to do. I mean, yes, the headlines were pretty terrible, but a lot of people didn't want to be associated with me if I was going to be speaking about my case publicly, because they always say don't talk about litigation. But I felt that in this particular instance, that it needed to be talked about, that we had to address it, because the fact that it was even happening in the first place was unacceptable. I actually had to step down. I was cast in an indie movie musical, and the director was like, hey, Colette, look, if we're gonna have you in this, we can't have you talking about your case online. I was like, I can't be in your movie then. I blogged about it every day for 2 years because I was like, no, if you're gonna keep me in the legal system, I'm gonna talk about it until I'm not in the legal system. And even now that I'm not in the legal system, I still talk about it because I think it's a story that needs to be shared, because it could happen to anybody, actually.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit.
Okay.
Could you maybe give a little sample of your performance voice? Maybe something that's not trademarked that I can keep in the video?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'd love to hear it.
So this is a song, I gotta clear my throat. I didn't know I'd be singing today. This is a song from a band called Edible Red that I was in, and it was the song that got me my record deal. I'll just sing like a verse or something. Sugar and spring, you're a sweet evil thing. Got my heart on a string, you're pulling it wide. Sexy when you sing, bada boom, bada bing. Don't be nothing until you are mine.
Awesome, that was great. Thank you.
I'm not a bad ugly singer, right?
No,
I
that
don't
was
think
great, I
am.
thought.
Thank you.
If people wanted to see you in New York, is there any place that you perform at regularly or that they could look you up at?
Sure. You know, I gotta be honest, I'm not performing
Oh, okay.
very much. I would like to. The problem is that the clubs, they don't pay what they used to.
So you've kind of given it up?
I haven't given it up. I've done more studio stuff.
Oh,
Because that's where I'm making money.
Yeah.
But I do miss performing. So I don't have any gigs on the books right now. I miss it a lot. Like I said, my phone isn't ringing like it used to. But I do. I had a lot of open mics in Bushwick and stuff. So, but you can also find me. I I have a YouTube channel under my name, Colette McClafferty. I'm on Instagram under Bad Ugly Singer. So, and I post covers there and stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank
Yeah.
you very much for the interview.
Yeah, thank you.